The Ohio State Buckeyes just got a ton of good news heading into the game. Let's talk about it. My name is Aaron with my buddy Paul. We are the Big Ten guys. We talk Big Ten football, basketball, whatever the heck it is, Big Ten on the daily. So don't miss out. Hit the subscribe button, notification bell, and hit the like button. And especially hit the like button because I think the Ohio State Buckeyes are going to absolutely trample, thump, run over, whatever the heck word you want to use against the team, the Wolverines, whatever the heck you want to call them. I think it's going to happen. So hit that like button because what's there not to like about that? I'm a Michigan State fan. You guys, if you've seen this channel, you know that. So I'm pulling for the Buckeyes just as hard as probably you guys are. And I think the Buckeyes have a lot of things leaning in their direction. So let's talk about some of this good news. First and foremost, you know one guy who definitely wants to win this game is Coach Ryan Day. A lot of people who thought, hey, maybe he should be fired after last year. Then he goes on to make an absolute rampage in the playoff to beat Notre Dame in the national championship and has a very good chance to repeat this year. He came out and said, fun is kicking blank. And that's what we're going to do on Saturday. So we're preparing to do that. And that's it. There's nothing funny about this at all. Love that. So listen, I just want to start off with this because this is what I truly believe come Saturday. I think some Woody Hayes is going to come out. And what I mean by that, I'm not saying a player's going to get punched or anything like that. But what I am saying is this. Ohio State has the ability to put their foot on the gas and dominate this game. They truly do. And I think there's going to be a chance, and I told this to multiple people this week, that they get up, they score a touchdown, and I think they're going to pull a Woody Hayes and they're going to go for 2. You know why? Because they couldn't go for 3. I see that coming. It's been way too long since Ohio State has won, and they want to get back on top in this big-time rivalry, in the biggest rivalry in college football, arguably sports. They're ready to take the crown back. So I just want to start with that because I think it is important. They are motivated and they're ready to go. That's first and foremost. Second, I think a lot of people are nervous with Michigan when it comes to their run game. Their run game is one of the best in the country. Now, granted, they don't have Justice Haynes, but they do have Jordan Marshall back for that game. Now, we're going to jump into that in a minute because, yes, they have a solid rushing attack. But again, they're very one-dimensional. And what I mean by that is if you look at all of their games throughout this season, there's one underlying theme. And ladies and gentlemen, that's simple. Their quarterback is a starting true freshman, Bryce Underwood. Sure, he is athletic. Sure, he has potential. I will concede that. I will. There's a reason he was the number 1 recruit in the country this past year. But he has struggled throwing the ball. The times he has been successful have been against lesser opponents. And there's even been times, including my Michigan State Spartans, that he did not play well. Not well at all. So they have relied heavily on the rushing attack. We knew that was huge. Obviously, when Jim Harbaugh came, Sharon Moore, he's no different in this offensive scheme, is they lean heavy on that. And if you jump specifically into Bryce Underwood's stats, it's nothing to write home about. 62% completion percentage as well, 9 touchdowns on the season, 5 interceptions. And I would tell you his rushing is comparable to a Fernando Mendoza, which, you know, him and Julian Saint are obviously up there for the Heisman. But again, I wouldn't be shaking in my boots when it comes to this rushing attack. The reason being is if the Buckeyes, the number 1 team defensively in passing yards allowed with 126.6 in the country, is going to go up against the team that ranks, I believe, 101st when it comes to their total passing offense, it's going to bode well for them. They're going to be able to come in and really load the box and stop this run of the Wolverines. I truly do. I truly see that. And so a lot of people who are nervous, oh, Jordan Marshall's back, it's not going to be ideal. And don't get me wrong, he's had some good games. So against Washington, against Michigan State, against Purdue, against Northwestern. But let's call it what it is. Are we truly saying that the Washington Huskies, the Spartans, the Boilermakers, and the Wildcats are all dominant rush defenses? No, they're not. They're not. So again, this will be hands down the best team the Wolverines have faced all year. Hands down. And it is going to be a struggle for them. Not only trying to move the ball down the field. But then the fact that they are going to have to deal with a juggernaut of an offense in the Buckeyes offense, anywhere from the pass game, the run game, whatever it might be, it's going to be a struggle. So, and I know this pains you to hear this, but last year, I truly believe if Chip Kelly would have thrown the ball more, instead of, it just seemed like he just wanted to give Michigan a taste of their own, their own medicine, and just run it down their throat. I truly believe if they would have thrown, it would have been more of what Ohio State does, what their DNA is. I think they would have dominated them. And I think that's what they're going to do this year. They're not going to make the same mistake. They're not. So sure, Jordan Marshall's back. Sure, Bryce Underwood's athletic. But that's not going to matter against this great Buckeyes defense. And we dig more into that. Not only is that good news, is knowing, hey, this is rough, but if we go look at some comparables, so Michigan against Purdue, in all these matchups, Ohio State has done better than the Wolverines. The Wolverines against a rough, awful, worst team in the Big Ten, and it joys me to say that it's not Michigan State, but Michigan allowed 276 yards against Purdue. Ohio State, not even 200. Pretty comparable, I will admit, against Washington. But then you look at Wisconsin. Ohio State, again, head and shoulders above the Badgers in that game compared to Michigan. So I think regardless if it's defense or offense, the Buckeyes truly tipped the scale in both those measures. Now, again, I know it's a rivalry game, and a bunch of people are telling me it don't matter. It's a rivalry game. It's a rivalry game. Yeah, I'll concede that. I understand that. But everything, every metric, every stat is pointing in the direction of who? The Buckeyes. It is the Buckeyes' game to lose. But I think going into this game, this is a ton of good news. Not only is Ryan Day pumped and obviously wants to prove the country wrong and all the haters wrong, this team is as well. They understand, hey, this team is very one-dimensional in the run game. If we can control that, it is going to be tough sledding. It can be a slippery slope for them. It can go downhill, and before you know it, the Buckeyes are absolutely rolling all over the Wolverines. And I truly believe that will be the case. And I truly also believe this. If this game is a huge blowout, I know a lot of people aren't too high on Sherrone Moore. And, there's a lot of different things they're not pleased about with him. If this is an ugly game for the Wolverines, that question's going to start coming up again and again and again. So I'm going to tell you this. I'm going to make a bold prediction at the end of this. And here it is. Quite simply, I have Ohio State winning. Are they going to cover the spread? 100%, 10.5 points. They're going to cover that. I think the final score for me is going to be 42 to, we're going to do some random 17. 42-17. I think Ohio State absolutely buries the Wolverines. Laugh at me all you want. That's fine. Say I'm an idiot. That's fine. I don't care, because I know there's going to be Wolverines fans who watch this and say, wow, you're biased. Not biased. Again, you've watched the same Wolverine team I've watched all year. You've watched the same Buckeyes team I've watched all year. Which one is better? Again, yes, I think last year was kind of crazy. Things happen, but I don't think the Buckeyes will make the same mistake this year. So comment below. Tell me your bold prediction. What do you think is going to happen? Would love to hear from you. On the way out, hit that subscribe button. We'll talk later. Peace.